Hi everybody, my name is Vanessa. Thank you so much for coming to this video. Thank you for clicking it. Thank you in advance for liking, sharing and subscribing. I am super excited today because today is my birthday. It is my birthday. It is my birthday. It's also the birthday of this channel. This is my very first video and I'm super excited to grow with you, meet new people, try new things and do these projects together. So the point of this video and this channel on a whole is to make things that can be used in and around the house, things that are useful. We're not making any garbage with glitter. So the very first video is supposed to be a get to know me video. However, I know that many people are coming for the DIY projects, so why not start with that and give the people what they want. You can get to know me at a later time or eventually. So the first thing we're going to do is paint techniques, painting on walls. So I'm going to show you different ways that you can do interesting statement walls that will make you feel proud of yourself, you know. I'm well aware that a lot of painting was done over December. I'm also well aware that a lot of people didn't get the chance. So there's still the opportunity for this. So I'm going to show you this sponge technique that I have on this wall here. I'm just looking over the camera at my beautiful wall. So we're going to do this 4 bricks and 2 other techniques. So let's go.
So my workspace today will be my bedroom floor. I'm just spreading this piece of leather on the carpet so that I can work on it, and I'll also be using a piece of board for demonstration purposes. So this is going to be the wall today. I already have 2 statement and feature walls in my house, so we're going to be using this for demonstration. Alright, so we have our 4 walls here. I've separated them using tape, and we're going to be doing our examples on this piece of wood here. So I'm going to be doing ombre, a sponging technique, a texture, as well as faux bricks. So what I'm doing now is I'm just getting the white paint to paint the bases, and I'm just putting on some gloves because we're going to be doing a bit of stamping today. So we're basically just taking care of the prep using the white paint, and I'll use other colors for other bases as well as the patterns and techniques we're going to do. To your tape, if you are using it to separate your feature wall from a corner wall, you want to paint away from it so that the paint does not bleed under the tape. Okay, so now that we're finished with the white, we are gonna do our remaining bases for the texture wall as well as the last color in our ombre, and we'll be using the color Oceanic to do that. So now we are going to add the second color in our ombre, and I'm using duck egg green to achieve this, and that's pretty much the last thing we have to do in terms of our bases. to mix for our in-between shades of our green and our white, as well as the green and the oceanic. So for the color in between, I'm going to use the green and the white to combine and make a color for in between that. And then the green and the oceanic, combine the paint for a color in between those two. So now we're gonna dip a little bit of paint on our paintbrush, and we're gonna add a little bit of water to the brush as well, and we're going to paint very lightly between the green and the white with the green and white mixture, which is a lighter green, and we are just adding that in between so it gives us a nice gradient from the regular green to the white. Now that we've finished our light green transitional color, we're going to mix our oceanic and duck egg green for a transitional color and paint in between the two, just the same as we did before with the previous two colors. Now that our paint bases have dried, they look a lot brighter. I also realized that my ombre gradient is too sharp or blunt, so I'm going over the 3 original colors, then painting the 2 transitional colors in between. Looking back, I probably should not have let them dry, so if you're going to do this, try to complete your full ombre before each color is completely dry. I also realized my regular paintbrush was too big for the demonstration on this wood. So I'm using a smaller art paintbrush to show what you should do with the regular wall paintbrush on your own wall. I'm dipping the brush in water every now and then to achieve a smoother faded effect into each different color. While our ombre dries, we're going to do the sponging technique, which I believe is the easiest. So we'll be painting our sponge, then basically just lightly tapping on our wall. I'll be doing the same thing with another color. For a full wall, I'd paint the full length of the sponge and tap, since you'd have more space to work with. And just like that, we're done with the sponging technique. It's time to move on to our textured effect wall. I'm painting over the base color using duck egg green, so we can use a washing brush to somewhat scrape the paint. Looking back, I shouldn't have allowed this base to dry either. So I'm going to paint over the duck egg green with oceanic, then use the washing brush. This way, both layers are still wet and will visibly show the scraping effect. Also, a harder washing brush will give you sharper, more defined scratches. And just like that, we're finished. Once it dries, it will be more obvious. Our final technique is faux bricks, and I'll be using the abrasive side of the same sponge as before. I've washed the sponge and I'm cutting off the curved sides to give me a more rectangular shape to resemble bricks. Now, when I did this on my wall, I used the full length of the sponge after cutting off the sides. However, for demonstrational purposes, I'm cutting it down to a smaller rectangle since our wall today is smaller. So now we'll just paint the abrasive side of the sponge, then stamp it on our wall. We'll need to start stamping at the edge for our first row, and then start in the middle of the sponge for the second row to mimic placement of real bricks. Then just complete the row. My rectangle stamps aren't filled out and I'm fine with that look. It seems more realistic. Also, you might notice some bubbles, and that's only because my sponge is still a little wet from when I washed it out. now dried and I've removed the tape so you can see the techniques clearly. Please let me know which is your favorite and which ones you plan to try. I'm going to show you my faux brick wall in my house as well. But don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and be sure to tag me at VanessaBarressa on Instagram if you post your results. Thanks so much for watching, and look out for more simple and effective DIY projects.